We are just adjacent to a kitchen that was built around 1728 and appears to burn in the 1740s. And so it is like a mini Pompeii in the fact that everything's fine and all the stuff is on the floor of this room, and there's shelves and all the stuff's on the shelves, and then something bad happens. Instead of a volcano, though, it's just a building fire, but it's an incredibly hot building fire. And it burns this thing to a cinder. And everything that was sitting on the floor on the day it burned is still there. And that's what we're getting ready to excavate.
As an archaeologist, that's got to be just thrilling.
Oh yeah, I've dug one burned building in my entire career, and it was the most fabulous, fun thing to do in the world. We got the fire marshal out and tried to figure out where the fire started. And then little different areas had different things stored in them. One area there would have been sacks of grain. Well, the sacks were gone and the grain is all burned, but it is still there. And so you just uncover these little silos of grain, one next to each other. Anyway, great stuff. So we have high hopes for this.
So what are you finding?
We're finding the materials that were used to build this building. And so we have Aquia sandstone, and then we have plaster. We have mortar to hold the stones together. Plaster is to give it a lovely sort of either on the first floor or even on the second floor. We haven't found any on the stone itself, but there's tons of plaster here suggesting the first floor of this building would have been plastered. So then mortar to hold the bricks together and stones together, and then daub, which is burnt clay. You have daub inside your chimney base to keep your chimney from misbehaving with fire, which obviously failed in this case. And then window glass, flooring nails, just regular wood nails for nailing wood together. And all of these things are going to tell us exactly what this building looked like. So the other thing we're finding is the material world that was used inside this building as part of its everyday life. And so that would be vessels that are food prep, vessels that are food storage, lots and lots of little teeny animal bones and an eggshell and all the stuff you would expect to find in a kitchen. So the food they're cooking, and then the vessels they're using to cook the food and store it.
Just to be able to go back and, just to uncover all of this stuff after all these years, because that's what makes archaeology so fascinating. Something like a site like this.
So this one is about 300 years old, if you just want to put it into context. And so parts of it, like this layer that we're uncovering right now, nobody has seen for 300 years. And so, and like I said, this is the uninteresting part. The part when we get through the burn of the building falling and collapsing, we'll get to the floor, and then we'll see stuff that is truly amazing.
Is that a next summer?
We were hoping to get it done this year, but it turns out there's more of this layer than I anticipated. I was thinking there'd be about a foot, but there's about 2 feet of it.
Okay.
So I think everyone else has concluded that's a next summer.
You haven't given up yet.
I'm always the last one to turn.
Now, over in the corner there, those stones, what do they represent?
So this is a 20th century cellar, and they used the 18th century wall as its form on the outside. Okay. And then they would put boards on this side, and then they would pour their concrete. So they poured concrete over top of this. And I was interested in seeing what this wall looked like that runs out there when it was up high. And so we cut out this and started to uncover this stone wall. And once again, you start to see big pieces of stone sort of lining up here, and then this wall goes through and then turns and runs the length of this, and then turns again and runs the length of this. So we have the entirety of this cellar. All 4 walls are now uncovered for the first time. And so we're very excited about that. And this was just to see how hard it is to get rid of concrete. And it turns out it's very hard.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately.